Yosemite isn't the only place in the US with jaw-dropping landscape. It's just the most crowded. Parking lots fill before sunrise, trails feel like lines. But across the country, there are places with the same kind of beauty, and a fraction of the people. And yes, one of them looks shockingly similar to Yosemite. But it's not the only one. Some of the most crowded parks in the US have near-identical alternatives that almost no one visits. Number 15. Breaks Interstate Park, Kentucky, and Virginia, instead of Great Smoky Mountains. Great Smoky Mountains National Park draws millions every year, especially in fall, when scenic overlooks and hiking trails quickly fill up. The soft blue ridges are beautiful, but the crowds can take away from the moment. Now, imagine a place with similar Appalachian scenery, but far quieter overall. Breaks Interstate Park, often called the Grand Canyon of the South, carves deep into the mountains with steep cliffs and sweeping views. The main overlook reveals the signature panorama, especially at sunrise when fog fills the canyon. Hike along the rim on the Ridge Trail, or head down toward the river for a more rugged route. It can get busy in peak fall season, but most of the time, it feels calm and uncrowded. 14. Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore, Michigan, instead of Acadia. Acadia's coastal cliffs and ocean views draw huge crowds, especially at sunrise from Cadillac Mountain. It's beautiful, but rarely quiet, with many of the main viewpoints filling up early. Along Lake Superior, Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore delivers that coastal drama, but with a more spread out, less crowded feel overall. Towering cliffs rise above turquoise water, streaked in orange and red. The most famous section, Miner's Castle, provides sweeping views from above, while Chapel Rock stands framed by the lake. For a closer look, kayak along the cliffs and into sea caves carved by the water. Or hike the Chapel Loop for a mix of forest, waterfalls, and shoreline. It still gets busy in spots, but it's much easier to find space. 13. Anza Barago Desert State Park, California, instead of Joshua Tree. Joshua Tree's boulder fields and twisted trees have become iconic and increasingly busy. Campgrounds fill fast, and even short trails can feel crowded. Anza Barago opens into a much wider, quieter desert terrain. Vast valleys stretch toward rugged mountains, with badlands and slot canyons waiting to be explored. Start at Fonts Point for sweeping views across the Barago Badlands, especially at sunrise. Then head into the Slot, a narrow canyon that winds through smooth sandstone walls. In spring, wildflowers can cover the desert floor in color. After dark, the sky turns completely black, making it one of the best stargazing spots in California. Silence stretches for miles, and the landscape opens wide in every direction. 12. Calaveras Big Trees State Park, California, instead of Sequoia National Park. Sequoia National Park is home to some of the largest trees on Earth, and it shows. Roads get backed up, and popular areas can feel surprisingly congested, especially during peak season. Calaveras Big Trees State Park delivers those towering giants in a more relaxed setting. Walk through the North Grove Trail, where massive sequoias rise straight into the sky, including the massive stump of the historic Discovery Tree. For a quieter experience, explore the South Grove, where fewer people make it out. Fallen giants lie across the forest floor, giving a real sense of scale. Short hikes weave through the grove with interpretive stops along the way. Time slows beneath these giants, and the forest feels quiet in a way that's hard to find elsewhere. 11. San Juan Mountains, Colorado, instead of Rocky Mountain National Park. Rocky Mountain National Park packs dramatic alpine scenery into a compact area. That popularity comes at a cost, with timed entry, traffic, and crowded trailheads becoming part of the experience. Further south, the San Juan Mountains stretch across a much wider and quieter part of Colorado. Jagged peaks rise above alpine meadows, especially colorful along the Million Dollar Highway, one of the most scenic drives in the state. Stop near Red Mountain Pass for panoramic views, or explore the trails around Ice Lakes Basin, where bright blue water sits beneath steep peaks. Historic towns like Ouray and Silverton bring another layer to the experience. The scale matches Rocky Mountain, only stretched across a quieter, more open landscape. Number 10. Valley of Fire State Park, Nevada, instead of Arches. Arches National Park is famous for its natural stone arches and for long entrance lines that can stretch for miles during peak season. By mid-morning, the most popular trails are already packed. Now shift to that same fiery red sandstone without the constant stream of people. Valley of Fire State Park explodes with color, especially at spots like Firewave, where striped rock curves like a frozen ocean. Elephant Rock and Atlatl Rock introduce more iconic formations without the heavy foot traffic. Short hikes lead through narrow passages and open desert viewpoints. As the sun drops lower, the entire landscape starts to glow. It feels bold, raw, and surprisingly quiet for a place this striking. 9. Redwood National and State Parks, California, instead of Olympic. Olympic National Park packs rainforests, coastline, and mountains into one destination, and that variety draws steady crowds throughout the year. Some of the most popular forest trails rarely feel empty. Further south, the redwoods rise even taller. In Redwood National and State Parks, massive trees block out the sky, creating a dim, almost surreal atmosphere. Walk through Fern Canyon, where walls of green ferns climb straight up from the ground. Drive the Newton B. Drury Scenic Parkway, where towering trunks line both sides of the road. Coastal sections add cliffs and open ocean views just minutes away. Step onto a quiet trail and the outside world disappears. An ancient stillness settles in, far removed from busy park roads. 8. Canyon de Chelly National Monument, Arizona, instead of Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon overwhelms with both its scale and its crowds. Popular viewpoints can feel more like observation decks than places to pause and take it in. Canyon de Chelly offers a different kind of experience. The canyon walls rise just as dramatically, but the atmosphere feels more grounded and personal. From Spider Rock Overlook, a towering spire rises from the canyon floor, surrounded by sheer cliffs. Scenic drives along the rim reveal quiet viewpoints, often with no one else around. Guided tours lead into the canyon itself, passing ancient cliff dwellings built into the rock. There's a sense of history here that adds weight to every view. The silence lingers longer. 7. Cedar Breaks National Monument, Utah, instead of Bryce Canyon. Bryce Canyon's hoodoos look almost unreal, thousands of spires packed tightly together. That uniqueness draws crowds all day long, especially at sunrise and sunset. Not far away, Cedar Breaks reveals a nearly identical landscape, but on a smaller, quieter scale. The amphitheater opens up beneath you, filled with orange and red formations that echo Bryce's signature look. From Sunset View, the patterns stretch across the entire horizon. Trails along the rim provide shifting perspectives with every step. In summer, wildflowers bring bursts of color across the high-elevation meadows. The elevation keeps temperatures cooler, and the pace feels slower. The resemblance is unmistakable, without the constant movement of people. 6. Sawtooth Mountains, Idaho, instead of Grand Teton. Grand Teton National Park delivers some of the most recognizable mountain views in the country. Sharp peaks rising straight above the valley floor. It's no surprise the area gets busy, especially around popular lakes and scenic pullouts. The Sawtooth Mountains bring a similar skyline, but with a quieter edge. Jagged peaks reflect in alpine lakes like Redfish Lake and Alice Lake, their surfaces often perfectly still in the early morning. Trails lead deeper into the range, revealing new views with every turn. Camping spots sit tucked between trees, far from crowded roads. Even the air feels different out here. Thinner, cleaner, untouched. You stop walking not out of exhaustion, but because the landscape refuses to be rushed. Number 5. Craters of the Moon National Monument, Idaho, instead of Yellowstone. Yellowstone's geothermal features draw massive crowds, especially around Old Faithful and the main boardwalks. Steam rises, cameras click, and space becomes limited quickly. Now shift to a landscape that feels almost alien. Craters of the Moon spreads across a vast field of hardened lava, shaped by past eruptions. Jagged black rock stretches to the horizon, broken by cinder cones and deep fissures. Climb Inferno Cone for a sweeping view across the lava fields, then step into the cool darkness of Indian Tunnel, one of several lava tubes beneath the surface. The terrain feels harsh, silent, and completely unfamiliar. Few places in the country feel this distant from everything else. 4. Snow Canyon State Park, Utah, instead of Zion. Zion's massive canyon walls create one of the most recognizable landscapes in the U.S. and one of the busiest. Shuttle lines, packed trails, and limited access shape the experience. Just outside St. George, Snow Canyon reveals a similar world of steep red cliffs and narrow canyons. Petrified dunes roll across the desert floor, frozen in motion. Walk the Petrified Dunes Trail for wide-open views, or step into the shaded lava tubes scattered throughout the park. Jenny's Canyon offers a short slot canyon experience without the crowds that define Zion. The scale still impresses, the colors still glow in the sun, but the pace feels entirely different. 3. Castle Crag State Park, California, instead of Yosemite. Yosemite's granite cliffs and waterfalls have made it world famous, and extremely crowded. Traffic builds early, and many of the best viewpoints fill before midday. Then there's Castle Crags. Sharp granite spires rise abruptly above the forest, creating a skyline that feels strikingly familiar. The Castle Dome Trail climbs steadily toward panoramic views of Mount Shasta and the surrounding wilderness. Below, the Sacramento River cuts through the valley, adding movement to the scene. Fewer people make the climb, which leaves long stretches of trail quiet and uninterrupted. The resemblance is immediate, but the experience is far more personal. 2. North Cascades National Park, Washington, instead of Glacier. Glacier National Park draws visitors from around the world, especially along Going to the Sun Road. During peak season, traffic slows to a crawl and popular stops fill up fast. North Cascades offers an entirely different experience. Towering peaks rise in every direction, many of them capped with glaciers. Drive along the North Cascades Highway for non-stop views, or stop at Diablo Lake Overlook, where bright turquoise water contrasts sharply with the surrounding mountains. Trails lead into remote valleys, revealing alpine lakes and rugged ridgelines. Large sections of the park remain untouched by heavy tourism, expansive and dramatic, without the same level of crowds found in Glacier. Number 1. Lassen Volcanic National Park, California, instead of Yellowstone's geothermal areas. Yellowstone's geysers and hot springs are some of the most famous natural features in the world, and some of the most crowded. Boardwalks fill quickly, and quiet moments can be hard to find. Lassen Volcanic brings that geothermal energy into a quieter setting. Steam vents hiss from the ground, mud pots bubble, and the air carries the sharp scent of sulfur. At Bum Pass Hell, a network of trails winds past boiling pools and steaming vents. Higher up, Lassen Peak rises above the landscape, offering sweeping views for those willing to hike. Snow often lingers late into the season, creating a stark contrast with the volcanic terrain. It's powerful, raw, and far easier to experience without the crowds. There's one state that takes this idea even further: California. Some of its state parks look shockingly similar to Yosemite, but almost no one goes there. Click here to watch 15 Northern California state parks that rival Yosemite, no crowds. Some of these look almost identical to Yosemite,